The Linear Roof Kit includes everything you need to build one of the most simple-to-fit, secure, weatherproof and energy-efficient conservatory roofs on the market. In this short video, we'll show you how to fit a linear roof, including the design features that make our roofs unique. We're building this roof indoors on low-level frames, so we can get up close to show you exactly how to fit the parts. So please note that larger installations may require additional support. Before making a start, double-check that you have all the tools required for the job. The full list of tools you'll need should be listed on the Linear Roof Installation Guide, so make sure they are all to hand before you start. Measure the roof area you will be working on and check that all the frames have been installed square and to the correct size. Use a spirit level and level up if necessary before the eaves beams are fitted. Check the bill of materials to make sure you have received all the components that are listed in your roof kit before you start. If you have the space, lay the roof out in an assembly position to make checking easier and to ensure all components are to hand when you start. If present, remove any dummy sashes from the installed frames to give access when fixing the eaves beam. Please take care when opening the packages, as PVC-U can be damaged if not taken care of. The eaves beam should be assembled on top of the frames, with the internal face of the eaves beam flush with the inside face of the frame. Make sure the correct quantity of glazing bar bolts and tie bar mounting blocks, if applicable, are positioned in the eaves beam. These cannot be installed after eaves installation, as all ends will be closed off. Use a G-clamp to hold the eaves beam onto the frame and screw the fixings in from underneath. It's important to place screws no closer than 150 mm from the corners and for each fixing to be no greater than 600 mm apart. Now, fix the aluminium cleats to the internal and external rebates, ensuring a neat joint. You can now fit the next eaves beam by sliding it into the cleats. Check to ensure you have a neat joint that is 90 degrees and that it lines up with the inside face of the window frame. Repeat this process for the remaining eaves beams. Once the eaves beams are all in place, it's a good idea to check that the overall geometry is correct using a tape measure. Now you can install the optional eaves beam cloaking foam. This adds extra insulation, prevents condensation, and improves the overall aesthetics of the eaves. Now you're ready to fit the wall bar to the eaves beams. This may require some support. Bolt the bars tightly into place. Preparation should also be made at this point for LED flashing if necessary. Install the ridge towards the wall end and bolt into place on both sides. Once that's in place, you can fit the remaining roof bars until the ridge is fully supported. Ensure the wall bars are fixed to the wall substrate using a suitable proprietary fixing. Use a tape measure to ensure all bars are in the correct position as per the roof drawing supplied. If so, they can be secured into position. Following this, a spirit level can be used to ensure the ridge is level and an angle finder to ensure the roof is set at the correct pitch. Run a continuous length of silicone seal between the wall and the wall bars on each side to ensure a weather-tight seal. You're now ready to fit the patented linear glazing retainers or glazing stops. These will prevent the glass from slipping, whilst it is being installed and simply clip into place. Insert the glazing stop at a slight angle and rotate until it's in a locked position, matching the pitch of the adjoining roof bar. With the linear roof, it's a one-man job to attach the hip bars. Offer the hip bar connectors onto the D-ring from an elevated position and then rotate them downwards to locate into their final resting position. Now attach the hip bars to the eaves beams. We recommend that you recheck the alignment with the D-ring and finish off by tightening the bolts. Work around the roof, installing the remaining glazing retainers and roof bars in the numbered sequence. It's important to check the glazing supports are in their correct positions. Ensure that the glazing support is tapped into place onto the ridge. This is positioned between each bar. The next stage of the installation is to fit the jack rafters, if they are applicable to your roof. They will be located on the hip bars. The jack rafter screws should be factory fitted in the correct position. Any minor adjustments of the screw assembly can be made with an Allen key. The jack rafter arms can then be slid onto the jack rafter screw. Align the jack rafter, ensuring the bar is at 90 degrees to the eaves beam. Check the roof bar centers at eaves level and tighten nuts at eaves level. Fully tighten the nut on the jack rafter screw. Check alignment of undercapping. Any vertical or horizontal adjustments can be made by the jack rafter arm. Recheck alignment and fully tighten the jack rafter arm fixings. Continue to fit any remaining jack rafters. At this stage, you should also start the LED flashing. The LED flashing is integral within the wall bar and therefore not a separate component. This removes the need to dress the LED down over the top cap. There are 3 options of tie bars available: eaves beam fit, rafter fit, or tie wire. It's really important to note that when a tie bar has been supplied with the roof kit, it has been deemed necessary to maintain the structural integrity of the roof due to the design or the size of the roof. If that's the case, it would be dangerous to fit the roof without the tie bar. Please also note that tie bars or tie wires should be fitted before the roof is glazed. For any eaves-mounted tie bar applications, the internal eaves and ridge claddings must be fitted before the tie bar installation commences. If you have a bar-mounted tie bar application, only the ridge cladding will need to be fitted beforehand. Drill holes in the eaves beam covers and in the internal ridge covers. They must be drilled on site to accept the threaded tie bar rod so that you can check everything is correctly positioned. Clip the internal cladding into position using a rubber or glazing mallet if required. This is only necessary where components are fitted with tie bars. Pass the horizontal threaded rod through the predetermined hole in the cladding and twist into the mounting block until it bottoms out onto the eaves. Fit the PVC U-covers and install the vertical rod. Fit the center boss to the horizontal rods and loosely tighten the M10 nuts. Add the vertical rod cover and fit the center boss, fully tightening the 3 nuts until the internal eaves dimensions are correct. Remember to remove any protective tape from the window frames and external eaves trim. Now you're ready to start glazing the roof. Your glass or polycarbonate panels should be numbered, so make sure you have them ready in the correct sequence, starting from the host wall. Before you start, it's essential to check that all glazing units have been supplied and to establish the correct orientation of external faces before installing. So, starting from the host wall, simply slot the first glazing panel into place. Push the glazing into the ridge. Ensure the glazing is located between the flipper gasket and co-extrusion of the fascia trim, and allow the glazing panel to slide back towards you until it butts up against the glazing retainer. This will prevent any glass slippage as you work. Fit the glazing retainer trim. At this stage, lead flashing should have already been dressed into the wall barb. Using a glazing mallet, knock on the wall bar top cap, working from the top of the roof bar to the bottom. Insert the next adjoining glazing panel and fit the glazing retainer trim and top cap. Working in sequence, continue to glaze around the D-ring, leaving out any jack rafter top caps until the hip bar top caps have been installed. Remember that once all glazing is in situ around the D-ring, you should leave the next available aperture unglazed. This will allow access to seal the external radius without requiring specialist equipment to climb onto the roof. At this stage, access the D-ring area and fit the foam weather seal and mask. The weather seal is sited behind the roof bars. Compress the foam onto the glazing in all areas. The weather seal mask fits to the top edge of the bars, so notch where it sits over the bars. If you intend to apply additional sealant in this area, make sure it's compatible with the glazing material. Fit the external ridge cover using a wooden block for protection and hammer the top cap into place. Make sure all the protective tape is removed and add decorative crestings and finial if required. Here we're using a contemporary blanking trim instead, which is tapped into place. Seal around the lead flashing trim and complete the lead flashing on the wall. Glaze the remaining panels. Now the outside of the roof is almost complete, you can finish off the inside. Drill a hole in the center of the internal radius cover using an 11mm drill bit. Now screw the M10 threaded stud supplied into the D-ring. Fit the radius cover over the stud and secure using the boss cover provided. Install any remaining eaves beam cladding. Fit the eaves joint covers, first adding 2-part glue and activator, and make sure they are clicked firmly into place. If the roof configuration requires jack rafter assemblies, all internal connecting joints should be silicone sealed. You can now fit the guttering to the roof. It's a good idea to fit any gutter connectors to one piece of guttering before you begin the gutter installation. Just push into place. We advise that you place gutter brackets either side of the gutter connectors to provide support, with the distance between brackets being a maximum of 600mm. Liniar's gutter brackets simply twist into place. It's really simple to fit the gutters into place. Just locate the front edge of the gutter onto the top hung gutter brackets and rotate towards the conservatory until they lock into place. Fit the adjoining gutter, making sure the connectors are firmly fastened into place. Continue to fit all the remaining items and connect any downpipes. During this stage, fit the roof bar end caps. These simply slide onto mounting blocks from above and lock down into place. With a simple V-groove on the internal face of the wall or end bar cap, one product can be easily adapted to suit either application, so there's no possible confusion with supplied components during the installation. Clean all surfaces down with a soft cloth, using glass cleaner on the glazing panels and PVC-U cleaner to remove any dirt or grit from the working areas. The Liniar Roof Kit, designed for living and a dream to install.